with not a lackluster sense of receiver, but not the top receiving core in the NFL. And to get somebody who can be as explosive as Amari Cooper, who is a true one, can fight for the ball, the things that he's been able to do in his career, I think it's.
So you want to unpack this Amari Cooper trade, huh? And yeah, I get it. It's a big one. Could really shake things up for the Bills, especially with them trading away Stephon Diggs earlier,
Huge shoes to fill, right? Diggs was such a weapon for them.
Totally. And they were trying to kind of piece things together, thread the ball around.
But hasn't quite clicked, has it?
Nope, not really. And then, bam, they snag Amari Cooper, 5-time Pro Bowler, hit that 1,000-yard mark a bunch. But is it enough? Is he the missing piece? That's what we're here to figure out.
And to do that, we got to go back to the beginning. Why Cooper in the first place? What hole were the Bills trying to plug? Luckily, these articles you sent lay it out pretty clearly.
Yeah, right away, that lack of a true number one receiver after Diggs was gone, that was a problem. But man, the thing that really jumped out from these articles was their struggles against man coverage. Seems like that's been a real pain point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when a defense can just shut down your passing game with straight-up man coverage, what are you going to do? Quarterbacks forced to make quicker decisions, hold on to the ball longer.
More contested throws, more sacks.
Yeah, not a recipe for success, especially for a guy like Josh Allen who likes to extend plays, find those deep shots.
Exactly. And the articles, they dove into that too. I saw one stat, something like over 40% of Allen's passes this season have been into tight coverage.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Forcing him to thread the needle on practically every other throw, that's not sustainable.
Not even a little bit.
And that is where this Cooper trade really starts to make sense, It's like they looked at the tape, saw the problem, and said, we need a guy who can win those one-on-ones, create some space against man coverage.
So enter Amari Cooper.
Potentially, yeah.
So let's talk about that then. Cooper's skill set, how he fits into all this. Because, I mean, yeah, the guy's got the resume, 5-time Pro Bowler, we said it, tons of 1,000-yard seasons. But what does that really tell us about how this is going to go in Buffalo?
Well, it definitely tells us he can produce, right? But it's about more than just the raw numbers. It's about the HOW. And one thing that stood out, reading these articles you sent, was his success on certain routes posts, digs, outs, those sorts of things. These are routes that are designed to beat man coverage, to get that separation.
And those just happen to be staples of the Bills' offense anyway.
Exactly. So it's not just about talent, it's about fit, too. His strengths line up with what the Bills like to do.
Like that missing puzzle piece, almost.
Right. And to back that up even more, one of the articles highlighted Cooper's average yards of separation from last season. Now remember, this is with Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball.
Yeah, and Watson was, well, let's just say he wasn't exactly lighting it up last year.
Not quite. But even with that inconsistency at quarterback, Cooper was still getting open, consistently creating that space between himself and defenders. That's not a fluke. That's a trend.
And that's what the Bills need. Makes you think, though, this trade, it's like a statement, right? Like the Bills are saying, hey, we're not just messing around here. We're going for it.
Yeah, got to make a splash, especially in the AFC this year. Talk about a dogfight. You got the Chiefs, you got the Bengals. Miami's looking scary. The Bills got their division, sure. But to hang with those guys, you got to keep up on offense.
Big time. So we've talked about the WHY of the trade, how Cooper's skills kind of slot into what the Bills like to do. But what's the word on the street? What are the experts saying? Got to be some mixed opinions, right?
Oh, for sure. Big trade like this, everyone's going to have their take. But from what I've seen, and in these articles you sent over, seems like folks are, well, surprisingly positive, actually.
I figured there'd be more doubters, especially with Cooper getting up there in age.
There's some of that, definitely. But even the more, cautious takes, they still seem to think this is a good move for the Bills, at least for the short term. Fixes a glaring problem without wrecking their future. Win-win, maybe.
What article? I remember this. It actually broke it down play by play almost, like, here's how Cooper fits into this offense. All those routes he's great at just happen to be the bread and butter of the Bills' passing game.
Meant to be, right. And, usually you hear about these trades and it's all, well, he's got to learn the playbook, adjust to the system, but Cooper seems like he can just slide right in.
And don't forget who's throwing him the pigskin. Josh Allen. Come on.
Yeah.
That guy can make anyone look good.
Oh, 100%. Allen's arm is a cannon. But I think people sleep on his football IQ, He sees the field, he knows where to go, and he's not afraid to let his receivers make a play. Trusts them.
So having a guy like Cooper, someone reliable, that actually elevates Allen's game even more.
That's the idea. I mean, think about it. Ever since Diggs left, Allen's been without that true #1 target. He's had to improvise, take what he can get. But now, with Cooper out there, he's got that go-to guy, someone he knows is going to be open when he needs it most. Changes the whole dynamic.
Adds that element of, like, certainty, right?
Huh.
Before it was a gamble, now with Cooper.
Safety valve, that's the perfect way to put it. That guy you know is going to make a play when you need it. Which brings us to another big point from these articles. The playoffs.
Yeah.
The Bills were already in the mix, but this could be that extra push.
The thing that gets them over the hump?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the logic, the experts. But what about the other guys? The rest of the receivers?
Yeah. Now it gets interesting.
It's like trial by fire, almost, for those younger guys. Now they got to step up, prove they belong.
Competition breeds excellence, right? They'll be learning from the best, watching Cooper, how he runs his routes, how he reads the defense. That's invaluable, that kind of experience.
So even if Cooper walks after this season, the Bills still win.
Could be a win-win. They've invested in those young guys, given them a master class, basically. And let's not forget the money side of this. Cooper's on a 1-year deal, right?
So Bills have options.
Exactly. See how he does, see how he fits. Then they decide if they want to pay him or spend that money somewhere else.
It's a gamble, but a smart one.
High risk, high reward kind of thing.
Right.
If Cooper goes off, helps him make a run, well, maybe they open up the checkbook. But if it doesn't pan out, they haven't tied their hands.
A whole lot of intrigue, that's for sure. This trade's going to be fascinating to watch unfold.
Oh, yeah. And it really shows you how much goes into these decisions, you know? It's not just about grabbing the shiniest toy. It's about timing. It's about fit. It's about building a winner for now, A&D for the future.
That's what makes this stuff so fun to unpack, right? Anyone could look at the box score, but we're trying to go deeper here. Look at the bigger picture.
And we did some serious digging today. But remember, this is just the start. We'll see how Cooper plays, how those young receivers step up, how it all shakes out for the Bills down the road.
And for everyone listening, remember, we built this whole deep dive just for you. Use the articles you sent, focused on what you wanted to know.
So go back, give those articles another read, see what else jumps out.
Form your own and opinions. That's what it's all about.
What do you think's going to happen? Hit us up. Let us know.
We're always up for a good discussion. Until next time, keep those brains working, and we'll see you down the road.